Now here's a dish that is perfect for the festive season. Hi, I'm Deb, and today we're making whipped brie with fruit and nut caramel crunch from Cookie Doo. It's a stunning chef quality dish that's surprisingly simple to make. We'll use a sugar stages function on the TM6 or the TM7 to create a beautiful crunch, fruit and nut, whipped creamy brie to perfection, and bring it all together on a brie board. I'll also share seasonal topping variations, and we'll pair it with ciabatta olive bread. You'll find the recipe link in the description. So let's get started. This recipe is from our Thermomix Everyday magazine collection on Cookie Doo. Okay, so the first thing we've got to do is line our baking tray. It says with baking paper. I'm using a silicone Thermomix baking mat. So we just set that aside. Okay, so we're going to add some dried apricots, and we're going to add some pistachios. You can tick them off as you put them in, and you can use any nuts or dried fruit of choice for this. So we're going to go and we're just going to chop that briefly, just for 1 second on speed 8. We want them quite chunky. Beautiful, look at that. And we're going to just put that aside in a bowl. Well, now look at those colors. Put aside in our bowl. And now we're going to start our sugar stages, which is amazing in your Thermomix. Now on the screen, it says to guarantee the success of the recipe, sugar, the ingredients must be weighed correctly, and you must be able to start your sugar stage as soon as you put your stuff in the bowl. Do not weigh your water or your glucose into it and walk away, because your sugar is going to dissolve and it's going to change the weights in your bowl, and then your sugar work won't be successful. So to that, we're going to add our raw sugar into the bowl. And we're going to add 20 grams of glucose. Now this we add to our sugar stages because it prevents the crystallization of the sugar. It's pretty sticky stuff. It'll also give you a nice shiny glossy caramel in the end. And to that we're going to add 70 grams of water. Okay, and now we're going to do our sugar. And how simple is that? On a stove, you have to watch it, you stir it, not to stir it. Is it going to crystallize? Wash down the sides. This is as easy as that. In 18 minutes, very safely, you're going to have a beautiful caramel. So while we're waiting for our sugar to caramelize, how great is it that we can actually go back to our original recipe? We can scroll down and see what other ingredients we need and how they can be prepped. So we are going to use a triple cream brie today. So it's really important that you use a good cheese, and triple cream works really well. It's rich and buttery. It's just luscious and decadent, great for the festive season. So it's really important. It says that to remove the rind when it's cold, but then you're going to put it at room temperature. So I'm going to show you what that looks like. This is one that the rind has been removed and it's been sitting out for a while. You can see it's almost starting to liquefy a little bit. To take the rind off at this stage would be very difficult. So what we want to do is we want to remove the rind. So I just use a potato peeler and you just take it off. Now, you can eat the rind, so if you don't mind it so much, you can leave as little or as much on as you like. The only thing that it's going to affect is the texture on your whipped brie. So it might not be as smooth as you leave if you leave more on than not, but the taste is going to be the same. So I've just removed the top with a knife. I find a potato peeler works really well. I'm not going to be too fussy about it. I don't mind a little bit of texture, but it's important to do that while your cheese is a little bit firm. Then you set it aside to soften, so when you put it in your bowl, you're going to get that luscious whip. The other things we need are some prosciutto, and again, you could use any cold meat or cold cut of choice. Today we've got beautiful fresh peaches. I'm quite partial to figs if you can get them and they're in season. They really go well with your prosciutto, but any fruit that's in season, strawberries or cherries when they're available, a really good alternative. Just put on what you like. So as I mentioned, we're going to serve our brie board with our olive ciabatta sticks. They are just too beautiful for words and also ridiculously easy to make. The link is in the description below to get the recipe to make them. But again, you can serve your brie board. We have so many different crackers and breads on Cookie Do. The choice is limitless. So now we've prepped what we can of our rest of the ingredients, we can just go back to our main recipe by either clicking on the little tab above or going to our step 7. And it's telling us we have 12 minutes left. Wow, look at that. We're just gonna pour that golden delicious caramel onto our baking sheet. One thing we do want to do is just make sure that our rim of our bowl is clear of any caramel. So I'm just going to show you in a while how amazing it is that you can actually, the Thermomix is now going to clean itself for you. You just want to get it as thin as possible. Just makes it nice and easier to eat than big pieces. Okay, and then we're going to take our fruits and nuts and sprinkle it onto our caramel. So how amazing, you can just put it on and walk away. No burnt caramel, no crystallization. And we're going to set that aside now to set so that we can break it into shards. So again, traditionally in a pot, you would have to put hot water on this, possibly put it back on the stove to boil, and have to scrub it to get the sugar off. But our Thermomix has a pre-clean mode. So all you have to do is put some water in your bowl. We add just a little bit of vinegar. And we're going to just put it onto our pre-clean mode. And we'll just be able to pour out the water and rinse our bowl and continue with our recipe. So we did our pre-clean on our bowl and we've dried it thoroughly. And now we're ready to whip our brie. So we're just going to add that brie that's been sitting out and is so soft. Just going to pop it into the bowl. Here's our other one. You can see it's starting to soften. We're going to put that in. And now we're going to whip it. So you may have to, as the instruction says, that we can stop it and scrape it every now and again, just until you got that creamy, smooth texture that you're looking for. It's looking delicious, but I'm just going to give it a few more seconds. So I'm going to scrape it down and we'll just repeat that step. How gorgeous and luscious does that look? It will, of course, also soften up on standing. Now you can let your creativity flow and you could serve it on a board, a cheese board or a plate, and we're going to spread it out. Or you could leave it in a nice mountain of it. It will go smoother and glossier as it stands. So we're going to go from this, which is just like your basic cheese board, all the ingredients, and we're going to dress it up. You can wrap some of your peaches or your figs in prosciutto if you like as well. And another one in there. If you had some beautiful micro herbs or some pretty flowers, something edible, you can add that as well. And then we're going to add our beautiful fruit and nut crunch. And then you can just break it into shards, as little or as big as you like. Now this is going to be too much for your cheese board, I would imagine. So you can store this in an egg-tight container. It must be airtight. It'll keep for a week about, and you can add it to all sorts of things. You can even add it to salads or roasted vegetables, or even just sprinkle it over ice cream. But we're just going to add it to our cheese board. You can see it's already going glossy. You can see how it's already starting to spread. Now we will not forget our beautiful olive ciabatta, which you can put on the side. Some of it you can break into pieces to scoop up that amazing brie. And that's my festive whipped brie with fruit and nut crunch. Perfect for impressing guests this Christmas. Give it a try. Check the description out for the bread recipe and other festive inspiration. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share what toppings you'll be using. Have a wonderful Christmas and happy cooking.